weekend, Donald Trump took to Truth Social with a post at 1:34 a.m. on Monday morning, in which he said, and I'm quoting a bit of this is all in caps, this: "How much did Kamala Harris pay Bruce Springsteen for his poor performance during her campaign for president? Why did he accept that money if he is such a fan of hers? Isn't that a major and illegal campaign contribution? What about Beyoncé? And how much went to Oprah and Bono? I am going to call for a major investigation into this matter." Okay, now, that came very, very early Monday morning. Now, on the way back from his trip to the Gulf states over the weekend, as he was flying back, this is May 16th, Trump said this on Truth Social: "Has anyone noticed that since I said I hate Taylor Swift, she's no longer hot?" Now, to that, and this is what I want to get at, to that post on Truth Social, Lawrence O'Donnell, a host on MSNBC, a liberal, said this: "What's the excuse now for not covering the story of the president's mental health?" And this has been a drumbeat on the left for several years, but it's really picked up since he became president again, and since this book, Original Sin, by Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson, is set to come out, which documents the evidence of Joe Biden's mental and physical decline while in office. Lots and lots of people on the left, in the comment section here, in the comment section on my Substack, all over the place, have said, why don't you cover Donald Trump's mental decline rather than wasting your time on Joe Biden? Now, my view is we can walk and chew gum, we can cover both, but I want to make the case that the notion that Donald Trump is in sort of some mental deterioration or decline is not really borne out. Okay, so people look at that Beyoncé thing and the Kamala Harris endorsement and Bruce Springsteen, or they look at him saying, I made Taylor Swift unpopular, and they think, this guy's crazy. Look at the way he talks. Look at the way... Donald Trump has kind of always been this guy. That's not to say that he isn't all over the place, but he's, I don't think, in mental decline. So let me just document a few instances of that, and then I want to make a few broader points. All right. In 2012, Donald Trump was, this is obviously prior to him running for president, he was talking about how Robert Pattinson should never take Kristen Stewart back because she cheated on him like a dog. The Twilight people. Before that, in the 80s, Donald Trump created a character named John Barron who he would impersonate, call the New York tabloids and say, hey, this is John Barron, I work for Donald Trump, and he's very virile and all women want him. It was Donald Trump. This was in the 80s. In the 2016 campaign, Donald Trump suggested that Ted Cruz's father, Rafael Cruz, was somehow involved in the assassination of John F. Kennedy in Dallas. Okay, so that's just three examples I thought off the top of my head, but I think it, in a weird way, undermines this idea that Donald Trump is in some sort of mental decline. He's kind of always been this guy. Now, before I go further, I have an ask for you. I want you to subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to give you one word and two definitions that will tell you why. The word is independent. Definition number one, I am independent from billionaire media company owners or giant corporate conglomerates that own legacy media. It's just me. I have a small company making content, and I think, I know I need your support, and I think it's important for independent news creators to be supported. That's independent definition one. Independent definition two, I'm independent from the two parties. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. I spent decades working at big media places like CNN and the Washington Post. I left them because I think the independent route is the right one, but I'm a ball and strike caller no matter what uniform the batter at the plate is wearing. I hope you can support that. Hit that subscribe button. It's free and it's easy. All right, so let's talk more broadly about this. So there's no question that Donald Trump has, throughout his life, been extremely unorthodox. He says and does things that no other politician would do, and honestly, most celebrities wouldn't even do, or most reality TV stars. So that is true. There is no question about that. He has always been someone who is willing to engage in huge flights of fancy about his own life. He is always the hero of his own story. When he declares bankruptcy, it's smart, not because he's a bad businessman, it's because he's a great businessman. When he lost races in the 2016 election, it was because he was cheated, and obviously he said that in 2020. He was cheated, he didn't actually lose. He is absolutely someone who is living in a self-created sort of world where he is always the best and is always right. There is no question about that. I think it's always been true. I mean, I don't know if it was true when he was 15 years old, but it's always been true. In The Art of the Deal, the book he wrote in the late 80s, his sort of memoir, his seminal memoir, he talks about creative hyperbole, that you exaggerate what people want to believe, you just make it bigger and broader. I'll go back. When Donald Trump was in high school, he said he was the best high school baseball player in the state of New York. He wasn't. I wrote about this in my book, Politics, Power Players, Sports Politics in the American Presidency. Quick plug. He was a good baseball player. He was a really good home run hitter, actually. But he was not even close to the best baseball player in New York. And he certainly, as he said in later years, that he would have been drafted if he in the MLB if he wanted to. That's definitely not true either. So, he's always gilded the lily throughout his entire teen life, adult life. Okay, so in a weird way, I think that argues against this notion that he's in some sort of rapid or even not that rapid mental decline. He's always blabbed about popular culture figures, offered his opinions about celebrities, said which musicians he likes and doesn't like. None of this is new. Made outrageous claims like he's going to sue or do an investigation into Bruce Springsteen endorsing Kamala Harris, right? None of this is new. This is, in fact, all old behavior. All of this stuff is stuff Donald Trump has done for years and years and years. The issue with Joe Biden... Oh, let me say one more word about Donald Trump before I jump to Biden. I go through almost every one of Donald Trump's speeches, and I have for about the last decade. I go line by line through them. I pull out lines that you probably should see. I put them in my Substack newsletter. What have I noticed over that period of time? He rambles. Yes, he goes off on huge tangents that make no sense, like windmills are bird graveyards, and wind electricity is bad, and how the media lies. But I don't see any significant change from the kind of speeches he was giving on the campaign trail in 2016 to the kind of campaign speech he was giving on the campaign trail in 2024. They were always rambling. They were always all over the place. They always went on too long. They always had a million non sequiturs in them. There's not to me evidence that he was... Do I think he speaks a little more slowly than he once did? Yes. Is it possible that he rambles more than he once did? A little bit, though he always kind of rambled, at least in his political life. So I just don't see the evidence of decline. He's clearly a different kind of cat. I mean, there's no debate about that. I just don't see that he's declining, which I do think is in contrast to the reporting in this book, Original Sin, by Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson of CNN and Axios, which makes the case that Biden in a mid-2022 began to decline much more rapidly mentally and physically. He struggled to walk because of spine issues. He was telling the same story often in the same speech and seemingly not remembering he had told the story a minute or 5 minutes before. He was forgetting names of people, cabinet officials, Democratic elected officials, celebrities who he definitely should have known. He was trailing off much more often. He seemed kind of slack-jawed and out of it more often. And that was a change from what they had seen in 2020-21 and obviously when he was vice president. So to me, the story with Biden is there was a change in behavior, observable behavior. For Trump, I'm not seeing that. And again, I look through every one. I watch and read every single speech and interview he gives. He is rambling. He does talk in non sequiturs. He lies all the time. But he has done all of those things for the bulk of his adult life. Are they marginally worse now than they were a decade ago? Marginally, but it is not a significant drop-off. So we could argue about Donald Trump's mental state throughout his entire life. That's fair game. But this idea that he is somehow declining right now, I simply do not see it borne out in my observations and analysis of him, which are pretty damn close. Okay, as I said earlier, I hope you subscribe to this channel. Independent, calling balls and strikes no matter what uniform the batter at the plate is wearing, and I am not beholden to any big company or billionaire. I'm calling it like it is always. I hope you can do two other things, which is like this video, thumbs it up, and comment on this video. Both of those things help my content get out to more people who are not already subscribers to me. We're at 85,000 subscribers. I'm hoping to get to 100,000. So if you can help me do that, I would greatly appreciate it. One other way to help me do that, word of mouth. evangelize, tell people what I'm doing here. You're not going to agree with me 100% of the time. Anyone you agree with 100% of the time on the internet is selling you something. I'm not selling you anything. I'm telling you what you need to hear as opposed to what you want to hear. It may not always mean you agree with me. That's a good thing. You shouldn't agree with someone else all of the time. I'm glad if you disagree. I hope you think I'm coming from an honest, transparent place. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm aiming for. That's what I'm solving for. That's my North Star. Take care, everyone.